We're good. Everything's good. I woke up a little late today, so we started the Zeus off a little late, which means we're a little late to this stream, but that's good. We should be caught up by the end of this. But otherwise, this is Friday Night Fights. We'll be covering rounds 1 and 2 today. Then I'll see about potentially joining an op on the ground. Either a 40k one, which I'm going to look into to see what specifically is in there, or we'll join something in TBW instead if they're hosting something. But I'll weigh my options after the second round of this stream, and we'll go ahead and have a look at what's going on in this scenario. So I've got the prediction up. Feel free to place bets, but let me read off what's going on. So Blue 4 is defending 2 terminals, and Green 4 is going to be attacking them. So with that, we're going to go look at what sides both units are on. First off, it's a kilometer of render distance, 145 points per defender. Color's going to be green because it's, a forested area. And then it's 65 minutes, but I think it's more of a 60-minute because there's only a 10-minute safe start. Usually for the first round, when they make it infantry only, they lessen the safe start timer. Regardless, nothing on parameter logs. We don't have to worry about OCAP. Let's go ahead and look at the factions. Factions for Blue 4 is going to be Croatian forces, which means they're using the VHS, which in my opinion is like the worst 5.56 rifle in the entirety of NATO. Like, it's got really wonky sound. I'm just not a fan of it at all. It's just a weird little bullpup weapon. But they got mini-me's for the light machine gunners, M240s for the medium machine gunners, Mark 11 mod zeros for the marksmen. There's another VHS there because one that has the grenade launcher, a 203 system with that little like tube cap thing. And then they've got AT4s for the light anti-tank. Loadout for Green 4 is going to be Turkish armed forces. So we have that, I think HK like 211 or something. I forget the exact designation, but it's an HK 5.56 rifle. It's basically like the MP5 style chassis, but with different rifle and some extra stuff. But you can see the stock and the grip are similar to the MP5. We got Scar H's for the marksman rifle. The poll has Op 4 in place of Blue 4. What? Oh, yeah, okay, let me fix that real quick, my bad. What? That was weird, it was reversing my text. We'll set it for 5 minutes. There we go, sorry about that, don't know what glitched out with that, but regardless. We've got mini-me's as well for Green 4, RPG-7s for the light anti-tank. They've got a 203 barrel for their HK. Again, I'm forgetting the exact designation of it, but 5.56 rifle. And then they also have an MG3, which is basically an MG42 rechambered in 7.62 by 5.1. Regardless, looking at the AOs here, we've got one terminal tucked away in this building. The exact terminal positions are marked, though it looks like one isn't actually marked because it has this yellow zone. Usually when it's a yellow zone, it means the objective is hidden inside of it, but this exact one is marked here. So one is just in this little village here, and then the other is on this hilltop. I'm going to be honest, both of these AOs kind of suck to defend because you've got big forested areas all around you, so you don't have any really nice fields of Overwatch to go with. This AO, I mean, it's got a little bit of merit to it. You've got a lake coming in from, not really a lake, it's more of a bay. Yeah, that's the proper term there. So, you know that your opponent can't really come in from your northeast or east because this is all cut off. So they have to come from anywhere between your northwest to your south, unless they do a massive flank around, which is possible. So that does, in theory, mean you have less avenues to watch through, but your opponent has elevation against you, and they've got cover against you. So this AO really sucks. If the opponent can literally get right on top of you, even within grenade range, yeah, you can set up some second-story defensive positions, but they can potentially, look over those positions, fire AT over those positions, and this is a slightly slanted rooftop, which means they can hit behind you and take you out. Due to large player imbalance, Blue 4 has been given an AR-2 to deploy for recon. Okay, I agree with that call. Blue 4, if they are able to see the way Green 4 is coming, they can react to it. I think regardless of unit balance here, oh, look at that, though. God damn. Yeah, the attackers have a very big offensive group. So Blue 4 knowing where they're coming can help a little bit, but that's only if Blue 4 has the manpower to do any sort of counterattacking and raiding to whittle down their opponent. I don't think they even have the manpower for that. But yeah, just this AO, really difficult. What I would do is I would definitely set up explosive traps along these buildings here and try to detonate what I can and take off enemy infantry with mines or satchels or whatnot. But beyond that, it would force me to hold this other AO, but this one's not really much better. At least you have no over elevation against you, but there's some dips here. You have buildings to use as cover, but your opponent has forested areas to attack you from all around. So I don't know. It's not really looking good for Blue 4, but let's take a look at our sides here. So we see Z commanding Blue 4 here. Z, we've seen step up recently. He's been doing a pretty good job. He's got 2 squads, 1 big squad and 1 standard squad. So he's got Bravo being led by Pingus, who has Shadow, Over 47, Lukey Irwin, Zio, Leziak, Owo, Kako, or Kao, or Kao. I don't know. I think Kao, actually. Gouliot, Eladin, Rubble, and Rixu. Charlie's been led by Stallard with Gates, Cressman, Fancy, Patriot, Tomer, and Emil. Otherwise, Green 4 being led by Nemesis. Cullis in Alpha with Puma, Wise, Jesse, Gravin, Nakamata. Kiri leading Bravo with Corey and Zoni. That's a 3-man group. Bursty in Charlie. I think Pogram's leading because he has a slash in his name on the symbol. But it's Defaw with Bursty, Ryan Shans, Snajaper, Skipu, and Fonz. Again, all under command on Pogram. And then Delta being led by NASA with Banks, Kazag, Masano, Zixmi, Swilla, Ash, Rizbo, Kerrigan, Kabubi Face, and Depso. AO has started. It's going to be a 50-minute round, but it might go to 55. Beyond that, we have a little bit of a false start because it looks like some of Green 4 isn't deploying just yet. And I have no idea where that Blue 4 drone is or if it's even been deployed. All right, so it looks like it's been given to Command, though Command is going to need a UAV terminal to work it. I hope he has it, but we'll see how this drone is deployed. Actually, no, we were able to find it through him, which means he does have the drone terminal on him, so we're going to see him hopefully use that in a second. But I'm going to be honest, it doesn't really take a rocket scientist to figure out where your opponent is coming from when... Let's do some technical analysis. If your opponent spawns here, can they go north? No. Can they go west? No. Can they go east? No. Can they go south? Holy shit. So, take a wild guess. Where you're probably gonna run into your opponent. Now, there's probably one person that'll make the argument, but Liru, this is a 100-meter crossing. They can just cross the river. Suck my cock. No. You never see river crossings in at least Friday night fights. You see it in other places. You'll probably see these guys potentially do it, but no side is going to commit a majority of their force to do a river crossing. That's just how it works. Not trying to be mean, just pointing it out. More so, be able to pinpoint players precise and walk people onto others. Drones have been increasingly unbalanced when used before. I agree with that, Malin, but that's only when the side has enough infantry to walk forces on. Unless Gates is going to lone wolf, but he is a marksman. If anything, I'd want to do that with a team leader with a grenade launcher so he can immediately find the biggest cluster of infantry and then noob tube them. No need to spawn horny goats? No, bad. You're watching on your VR headset? I mean, I'm flattered. But if you have a VR headset, wouldn't there be more interesting things to watch? Then again, I'm very flattered by it, nonetheless. But that's where my brain immediately goes. Oh, some of the shit I've seen. Alright, so green 4, I'd imagine they might try to completely flank around and then attack this AO from like the south-southwest. It's with command, it's up for him. Yeah, I saw it's with Z, so we'll see how things go with it. We do have a few late joiners, though. They might be able to slip into blue 4. But there you go. Okay, you get 3 whole people doing the river crossing. Blue 4's only chance of winning this one is if they send a few guys out, like where we see Gates here, and they manage to get at least, like, 3 or 4 kills. Not just him, by the way. It has to be, like, multiple people picking up that kill count. Only then, by giving the defenders a bigger number advantage, will the defenders have any chance of winning, because otherwise you're just going to see green 4 bulldoze these AOs. Who better watch the GOAT himself? I appreciate it, Knight. I do try my best. Hey, you never know. Gambling might get you a few fillions, absolutely. Why'd I say fillions? I can't English. Maybe I shouldn't have spent up till 4 a.m. making random Christmas cookie dough batters. But I'll do it again. Ran out of flour, though, so I had to stop. Could only make peanut butter blossom cookie dough batter. I wanted to make snickerdoodle as well, but the only flour I have left is bread flour, and I don't want my cookies to be too chewy. Hydrate, you got it. At least I got myself a glass of water. Got a lot of good feedback from that Siri op we did this morning, though, so I was happy about that. We'll have 1 or 2 ops on Monday, and we will completely restart everything. I was thinking maybe I could also do some dev work tonight if I'm feeling it, but, I mean, between this and then 2 other streams tonight, including DayZ, which I don't need to ask Razor, he's right here. Razor, you're good for DayZ tonight, right? But regardless, if I'm feeling it, I'll try to do some dev work for Sunday, but if I can't make it Sunday, then we'll do it Monday. Gates immediately gets a kill. All right, now he just needs to do that 4 more times without dying. But if he can do that, then he's good. Who'd he kill? He killed Banks. Damn, Banks is usually a pretty heavy hitter in these ops, but looking at his positioning, he went ahead of the rest of his force, and he got picked off there. Gates immediately running away, though. No shame in that. You want to normally... If he can instead just run away, get a kill, run away, get a kill, run away, get a kill, that's also pretty effective. Good for DayZ. Awesome. But yeah, Bloodwayne has a tradition every year. We've been doing this for, God, at least 4 or 5 years now, where we would get together. This was before we were moved in together. And we would make a bunch of batches of Christmas cookies, and we'd give it to our friends and family. Staples are usually peanut butter blossoms, which are the peanut butter Hershey Kiss cookies. That's what I usually call them. But that's snickerdoodles and some form of gingerbread. And then we usually have like 1 or 2 extras where we just, you know, pick something new to keep it fresh. Usually we're silly and we decide to spend half a day just making all the cookies. This time in advance, though, we're freezing some of the batters to work with. Yeah, Cater, shoot me a recipe. Speaking of recipes, Dragon is never going to get that Asian sweet and sour noodle recipe I keep forgetting to send it to him. All right, so Gates spotted these guys. He's running. Looks like Green 4 didn't spot him, though, so he's trying to get some distance. Good on him. Got a 3-man team flanking that position as well. DM on Discord? Awesome. You plan on going to sleep with it on? You're going to wake up and just see my stream? Okay, that's... You do you. You do you. I've had people DM me Stranger Things about me, so that's pretty middle of the road, actually, now that I weigh it compared to everything else. Okay. All right. S'mores cookies are good. Some of the contenders this year is like a Rocky Road cookie or a fudge marshmallow with like actual homemade marshmallows, because synthetic marshmallows are shit compared to real homemade marshmallows. Rixu's coming around with that GL, but will he be around to be effective? Otherwise, we have some of the garrison here. Gates got up and started spraying at another guy. Wasn't able to get a kill there. GL goes off. Tomer was able to get a kill with that one, though. So, if these guys can, again, get a few more pickoffs before dying, that's all they need. Tomer fires another one. I don't know if that was the double tap or what, but that one missed. Somnimaxing, dude's gonna dream about Wee Woo. Okay, like I said, you'd be surprised what silly things I've had to deal with as a streamer. Alright, some people form some pretty weird parasocial relationships. Another pickoff. That was, I actually don't know. Because I don't see any kills log, but someone did go down right there, unless they died. It was Crestman, who has a -1. But he did get the kill, so I don't know who he blew on blued. Weird. You know, even though this is a light garrison, I kind of like where this is. This is giving Blue 4 the opportunity with all these units spaced out, and a satchel goes off and gets a kill. I don't know who the explosive expert was. It must have been Grav. Yep, Grav does have a kill, but that was a good call. Just blow up the building. You don't have to clear the building, just blow it up. But by separating all these infantry out, you still leave a good chunk of infantry up here to work with, but this is maximizing their ability to potentially get some kills here. Zixby tries to lead with a grenade, barely gets the grenade. It's a satchel. He might blow himself up, but Patriot's also going to blow up. Wow, so these are some strong-ass logs. I mean, Zixby made it go into a PNG, but he... Okay. Huh. Never mind. Zixby knows more about explosives in this game than I do. Goddamn. Styler gets taken out by Curie in a pretty large mag dump there. Puma about to find Emil. Emil's coming around. The VHS, it just doesn't have a quick fire rate. And against the Mini-Me, it's taken out. Again, one of the reasons I dislike that weapon a lot. Because the VHS fired first, but it was against the Mini-Me, which had a quicker fire rate, so the Mini-Me was able to get a higher DPS rate than that VHS in a mag dump. And it just got taken out. Mine goes off. Did that get a kill, though? It did. That's what I was talking about. Blue 4 need to set up a bunch of mines in this position to get every pick off they can, because they're fighting against such a big amount of infantry. Rixu coming around, though. If he finds a few people to pick off with that GL, that will potentially change things. Another tripwire goes off and kills 2 people. Hold on. If this trend continues, Blue 4 might actually have a chance. Rixu trying to get some rear shots on Cullis. Does get a few hits, but it's not enough. Gates needs to pull away and find a way to get some kills here. Wow. Cullis gets very lucky on that GL landing. The charge gets deflected by the tree. That should have had Cullis dead to rights. They just shot it. That was the flare one. Yeah, so this one, the explosive is actually in the doorway. But it's shaped, so shooting at it from the door will kill him if it's an explosive one. Funny enough, though, if he trips it right here, I think the door will absorb most of the shrapnel. At least in theory, it should. Looks like they just disarmed that one. Holy shit, wait. There's another one. They're trying to use grenades to stop it. But it doesn't get lucky with the fragmentation. Puma shooting at Rixu. Jesse's leading the charge on Rixu over here. Rixu taking marksman fire as well. He's hurt. Jesse spots him. He's dead. Shield goes off. Another grenade gets thrown, and that disables the traps. Meanwhile, Green 4 is attacking this other position. And with that, I think any chance of Blue 4 winning, because look at the amount of Blue 4 still alive in this Green 4 assault. Gates does get a kill. He's taken an enemy gun. That was Jesse. Nekomata looking around. He's got that MG3. He's going to potentially see Gates right here. He's going to have him dead to rights. Holy shit, never mind. Gates is Adriano today. Alright, so this garrison needs to hold off this Green 4 force, and then the new Adriano needs to come in and attack the rear of this Green 4 force. Never mind, there's still a chance. There's still a chance, but these guys need to hold. Because if they don't, it's GG. Gamers never look up. I think they got him, Fonz, but you can double tap all you want. Lukey gets taken out by Bursty. These names. Only a handful of Blue 4 left. Knight, it's entirely up to you. Do you want to have your VR time interrupted to go make noodles, or you just want food delivered to you? But it is more expensive. So consult your budget accordingly. Gouliot gets a kill. That hack is completed. Gates is coming in. He's got a Green 4 weapon, so he can confuse audio ID. But Blue 4 do not have a lot of people remaining. It is 4 versus... like 17. It's okay. If Green 4 start blowing themselves up, there might be a chance. It's a pretty good grenade that does wound KO there. He's popping smokes. He's trying to get some... oh, it's because Cullis has him locked down as a marksman. So with Gates pinned, I think this is GG. Blue 4 down to 3 infantry. Though we have 3? Okay, now 2 people down. Depso woke back up. He got some medical attention. Finish him. Finish him. That's a satchel. I think he'll be fine. That satchel just knocked out more people, and it didn't kill. Sixty has -2 kills. Let's break this down. He's at least killed 2 other people, though, with explosives, which means he just got a -4 by blowing up a majority of friendly infantry around with that satchel. And then Zixby gets knocked out by Kabubi on accident. Punished for his hubris. You're right, his teammates must have been Polish. Zixby has... oh, there goes my game. Zixby has a massive hatred for the Polish. I don't know why. It's personal. Who knows? All right. Can Gates channel his inner Audrey Hotto and make it up to the AO and stop Green 4 from activating the terminal? Or just outright kill everybody before the end of the match? The odds are stacked against Gates, but Gates is up 4 kills. He has an enemy gun. This could go really either way as long as Green 4 don't find the terminal. Which I don't think Snotchper's smart enough to open doors. Okay, he saw the terminal. This might be an issue. The building is locked. They can't access the terminal. Holy shit. Someone locked the door. They're gonna need a satchel to blow the building. I don't think Zixmi has any left, though. Do they have any? Graf might be an explosive specialist. He might be able to blow it. Oh, no. Someone has charges. Again. Another one. Snodgepair ripped the terminal out of the building. What? Never mind. So the force of the explosion somehow pushed the terminal through the wall. Very, very powerful tactics. Alright, Zixmi's under the mindset of if he shoots the terminal, it'll make the timer go faster. And if you notice, every time he shoots the terminal, it does cause the terminal objective to count down a second every second. Isn't that crazy? Gates on kill number 5. He's got 37 seconds to get 12 more kills. Do you think he can do it? No Tori? I don't know where our Tori is. Ah! And it technically wasn't a suicide bomb because he was still... He wakes back up! He wakes up! I don't think I've ever seen someone in a PvP match charge up to somebody with a cooked grenade, throw it at the last second, duck for cover, blow up their opponent, and then survive. That is honestly a new one. Like, I don't have words. That's a new one. Wow, 95% chose green 4. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Not surprised with that one bit. All right, composing myself here. Let's go ahead and start writing down everything for round 2. God damn. Oh, yeah, let me see if I shut the server down. No, Ian did. Awesome. I love Ian. He does so much for me and helps me keep sane. All right, this is round 2, where Op 4 is attacking 3 blue 4 terminals. Op 4 has 2 No, 1 BTR 60. Three Land Rover Dishkas and a Ural. While Blue 4 has 2 M2 M1151s. How many static Dishkas? 3 static Dishkas. And an armed Huey support helicopter. Am I missing something? Because Blue 4 have 2 M2 vehicles. I think M1151s are Humvees. 3 Dishkas. And a Huey with M60s or 240s on the side. And Op 4 only has a BTR 60. And 3 Dishka Land Rovers. What am I missing? Because a Humvee is going to beat a BTR like 99 out of 100 times in a day. Yeah, righto, Knight. Yeah, so I okay, yeah, that's the op. But weird call, but all right. I'm up for interesting map balance. Maybe it's because they're the Dishkas are positioned in weird spots, so that's why they have the 50 cows as well. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out. You're missing the incompetence of the player base. True, I normally don't factor that in. I just hype everything up. That way when we see it, I can then farm it for content, right? We can meme it. So we'll just make it work like that. Excuse me. Whew. I already farmed the player base for content. I don't farm anything. They just do their own thing, you know? I cannot believe a building with a full interior cannot be entered for some reason. What is that BS? I don't know, because I've seen that building. I've used that building. I've done things with that building. That's one of the Cup Workshop buildings from Arma 2. I've never seen the locked door version. Well, no, I think you can lock the doors of it, but you have to go into its, Oh, Malin. Malin, did you disable... I think the simulation of the building got disabled. That's why. Unless it was part of the map. In which case, for whatever reason on the map, its simulation got disabled. Because if you disable the simulation of buildings, it also breaks the ability to interact with the doors. Yeah, so the map dev somehow broke the simulation of the building then. Which is weird. That or something broke its sims somehow. I don't know. That one's weird. Hashtag blame Malin. Don't be mean to Malin. But anyway, we're going to cover round 2. Then I'm going to take a break, check to see what our third stream is going to be, whether it'll be something in the 40k unit or in TBW. But I'm going to have something to eat because I'm not going to be able to eat today otherwise. And then what should I do? Oh, DayZ, duh. Which I need to ask Dream if he'll come on and do sound bites because it's been a while and I know some of you really want it. Razor saying Gator Claws didn't compile in DayZ testing. What's Gator Claws? Are you making alligators now? The missions were made in the span of 4 hours. What, for what, 4 missions? That's not bad, Malin. A mission an hour? I wish I could make a mission file in an hour. There's just so much shit. Gator Death Claws. Wait, you can add Death Claws to DayZ? Real shit? Real shit? Wait, but I'm a streamer. We can't. Darn. Never mind. Liru, no. Liru, yes. We already had Death Claws in DayZ? We'll add them back. Look, I don't remember everything. Look, you're right. We had normal Death Claws. Look, my brain was thinking about another type of Death Claw, but then I remembered, wait a minute. Twitch probably won't allow that, so never mind. That's fair, Malin. But sometimes you gotta get things done. Alright, so this is gonna be on the... God... You know, I don't remember this area because last time we were in this area, it was for the 31st Steel Legion, and we had completely... I'm not going to say we. Valkyrie completely converted this map to a 40k one. So this entire area was completely converted into a 40k town. I dare say city. So I don't remember what this place looks like. You're streaming, we can't add fun ones? Exactly. You just have to imagine it, okay? You have to imagine its intentions. All right. With this AO... The only real way to assault it would be from the north, either utilizing these buildings as Overwatch and then these patches of greenery to move in. Otherwise, you have this big open area with the airport here. You got this big open area down here. Blue 4, all they need to do is set up a defensive group here, here, and here, and then just actually cover the objectives. All they need to do is just hold the map, and then they're good. But if they don't, then they're going to be SOL. Let me go ahead and set up a prediction for you guys. It'll be 15 minutes. Excuse me. And it is between Blue 4 and Op 4. Set it to 15 minutes, and let's go ahead and cover things. Save starts 10 minutes. Okay, well, 5 minutes of maneuvering, that shouldn't really affect anything. Let's go ahead and look at our tasks. Blue 4 going to be defending 3 terminals. Op 4 going to be assaulting them. 2 kilometers of render distance. 100 build points per engineer. Fortify color is going to be tan. I can see that with the terrain in the buildings. There's a mix of tan and green. And then with the 10-minute save start, it'll be a 60-minute match instead. That is fine. No performance streaks. Loadouts for Blue 4 are going to be the Afghan partnering unit. They don't exist anymore because they got taken over back in, what, 2021? Either way. So this is going to be M16A2s with 203 launchers. We got Mark 11 marksman rifles, 249s for the auto riflemen, AT4s for the light anti-tank, M240 Bravos for the medium machine gunners, and MP7s. The kit was made in like 2019. Yeah, before that all happened, right? Otherwise, they have one UH-1H, which is going to have 2 door gunners, each with 1,000 rounds, 3 static Dishkas, and 2 M2 Humvees, slightly up-armored, with 800 rounds per. Not bad. Loadouts for OPFOR are Iranian army, so Afghanistan versus Iran. Nice. So they got those KH-2002s. Those are the vanilla CSAT bullpops. They've got the GL variants as well for the team leads. RPKs for the light machine gunners. RPG-7s for the medium anti-tank. Actually, no, excuse me, light anti-tank. They get 2 rounds for it. MG3s for the medium machine gunners. PSG-1 for the marksman, and then MP7 for the crewmen. They've got 3 Dishka Land Rovers with 20 50-round boxes. Damn. That's, what, 1,000 rounds? Nice. 2 transport Urals and a BTR-60 with both the PKT and the KPVT heavy machine gun. Otherwise, looking at the roster here, Z is going to be commanding Blue 4 again. He's got more infantry to work with this time. So he's got Alpha with Pingus, Kuliat, Cao, Aladdin, and Robble. Bravo has Luki, Leziak, Owo, and Diobak. Charlie has Stallard leading Emil, Murray, Gates, and Cressman. Curie leading Delta with Jabby, Korvac, and Zoni. And over 47 and Irwin are being the chopper crew. Jesse leading Op4. He's got Nemesis leading Alpha with Cullis, Nekomato, Wise, and Puma. Fonz leading Bravo with Bursty, Fancy, Snodgeberg, Derfall, and Orion. Delta being led by NASA with Depso, Kerrigan, Masano, Zixmi, Grav, Swola, and Ash. Echo being led by Banks with Orthy, Oliver, Rizbo, Cheeseburger, and Kabubi Face. And then a dedicated vehicle crew in Gulf has Skipu and Pogrom for that BTR-60. Otherwise, looking at this terrain, as you can see, what I was saying, massive open area around big chunks of this AO. Yes, there's a little bit of defilade to work with, but that's going to be completely negated by this openness here. You do have the north being the best chance for the attackers to make it into the AO because you've got a little bit of tree cover, you got a little bit of elevation to work with. But really, Blue 4's goal would be probably to get to these 2 buildings so they can use them as overwatch and then get their infantry in and then start hitting these terminals one at a time. Speaking of, Terminal 1 is in this military base. It's got a nice little perimeter on its own. Does have some additional buildings around with 2-story overwatch positions as well. And then the internal buildings also 2-story. So that would be pretty helpful. Plus some really nice hills that they can overwatch from and then immediately run back from as well. Second area is this fenced-in area here with this industrial building. You can set up some fortifications on the top of these locations, sandbags and the likes. That's pretty good. You got a fire station nearby. You can also use that as a local garrison. To cover the southern advance, your biggest fear is going to be the north, but you can always send forces up to hold that office building. Third and final spot is this church area. Now, benefits of this one is you don't have to worry about anything coming from your south or your east. You only have to worry about the north and the west. Bad news is you only have this one multi-story tower to overwatch from. It's got a few blind spots with these palm trees. You got some open areas to work with as well. You do have a tall building over here that you can access the rooftop as well too, but again, it's got some elevation issues to worry about and whatnot. And then some other buildings you can get to the second story. But by this point, your opponent are going to be able to pretty much get right on top of your area here, so it kind of negates those points. I don't think any one of these positions is particularly strong on its own. It definitely needs support from neighboring spots. So what Blue 4 needs to do is pretty much what I said earlier. Have some key choke point garrisons to overwatch where they can. Maybe some coordination between the helicopter, and the M2 Humvee so they can pretty much take the helicopter off, spot where Op4 is moving in their vehicles, and then bring the Humvees out and just ambush them on the road. That would be another pretty good tactic to do. Score a good chunk of kills, pull the forces back, and then play defense. So I'm going to be honest, Op4 only have 2 choices. They either take the road on the right, bring it in, dismount somewhere over here, go up here and then dismount, or take the road on the left, drive around, and then dismount on the northern side and come in from the north. Those are the only 2 options, really, available to them. So the 203 GL platform has been, at least in the U.S. military, it's been replaced by the 320 system, which can either be put on a rifle or used as a secondary. as its own, like, grenade launcher. We probably still have a bunch of 203 systems in our reserve, but we've also given a lot of those away to, like, you know, Afghanistan back in the day. It's been a while since I watched FNF do the 5-ish man squads that normally go to different sides still here. Oh yeah, no, there's still smaller groups again because FNF doesn't have a lot of numbers these days. We're kind of in that low period, mainly because it's been a few years since Armor Forger came out. Now the mods for that game are somewhat in a playable state, so a lot of players are now doing that. So Arma 3's player counts are going to be pretty low. I don't see them ever really going back up, to be perfectly honest, because Arma 4 is on the horizon. It'll take that over. We'll start moving over, but I'm always going to come back to 3 to play, you know, some niche things here and there. So, you know, it is what it is. We got 2.5 minutes left. Again, I think Blue 4's best strategy would be to coordinate between the Humvee, the 250 cal Humvees here, and the Huey. Find where Op 4 is driving, and then just, you know, ambush them. If, you know, par that, just set up some Overwatch positions to try to catch Op 4 coming out in the open. Use your Huey to assault them from the air. Use your Humvees as mobile heavy support weapons and, you know, suppress anything that goes into the open. You have 800 rounds. It's quite a bit to work with. I don't think the Huey's going to get any kills. It's going to be more useful to just be used as a reconnaissance asset and a coordination asset. The Humvees are going to be what get a majority of the kills if used properly. What are the odds Op 4 somehow takes out the Huey? I'd say, honestly, about a 50. I'd give it a 50-50, actually. The BTR 60 is not going to be able to do anything unless the Huey flies at a really bad angle, but that 14.5 will tear apart that Huey. The real fear, though, is the 3 Dishka UAZs. And the fact that they've got 20 boxes of 50-round ammo. We are very used to RHS assets with Dishkas, where it only has 5 boxes of 50 rounds. So it's only 250 rounds, and those get burned quick. But these assets have 4 times that amount. So they're going to be very frivolous with those shots. And 3 heavy machine guns firing in the sky, you only need to hit the Huey once in the middle to potentially disable the engine. 2 will guarantee an engine knockout with that caliber. So if the Huey is not being careful, it could easily get sniped out of the sky. That's why I give it a 50-50. I don't think Arma is going to really get a lot of advertisement. I think, and let me explain. Arma is one of those games where it's a sandbox, mainly, let's be honest. So what's going to be the biggest advertisement for it is going to be the YouTubers. I mean, that's how DayZ got popular. And that's how Arma 3 got popular. You know, DayZ, it was, God, throwing some names out. Rhino Crunch comes to mind, but there's others. God, the one guy that had that massive story arc, I'm blanking on his name. Was it Frankie on 1080? That rings a bell. But, you know, that's what brought everyone to DayZ. And then Arma 3, I mean, God, Soviet Womble. That was the biggest name. Drewski, I would say, is the second biggest. But, yeah, no, just let Arma 4 exist, let the modders do what they need, and then YouTubers will pick it up, you know? That's all that needs to happen. I don't think Bohemia needs to do any form of advertising. If anything, I'd want them to not do it and instead spend that money on just providing the resources to the modders and let the modders make the damn game. Alright, so the Huey's flown out. We did see one hit bounce off. That's why one of those rounds turned blue and ricocheted off. So they already potentially took a hit. But now we need to see these Humvees drive out. One of them is. The other one looks like it's going to be worth a squad, but we see that these guys are basically getting on the edge of trees here. So they are going to try to snipe forces as they come in. But so this one's also bringing infantry up. And we're seeing some far dismounts here. But we got a Ural driving in. Can the 50 cal engage it? But yeah, there are some games out there, especially with AAA studios, where they spend a absolute crap ton of money on advertising, but the product is just so shit that it's just a waste of money. But with social media, word of mouth marketing is so powerful that I genuinely think Bohemia does not need to advertise Arma 4. They just need to drop it, and then anyone that's curious about Arma or has played Arma is going to have that appear in their YouTube algorithm or whatever social media platform they use, and they're going to come gravitating back. This 50 cal Humvee should be a lot more aggressive right now. It's just instead going to be a static target and potentially RPG'd. Was the BTR ordered to drive all the way around? Because I think they're lost. No, they're trying to drive up a hill. That weapon platform doesn't have any magnified optic, though, so it's going to be horribly overranged. Dishka now firing. No hits, otherwise you'd see a deflection. So, Marksman picked off one of the guys up here. Funny enough, it was the sniper. Yeah, BTR, I think, is going to be completely misused because the infantry's already so far ahead. The BTR's all the way back there. That is literally over a kilometer from where Blue 4 garrisons are. It's not going to be effective. Yeah, don't remind me, Charlotte. Yeah, so they're just getting in the vehicle and leaving because they tried to hold that with only a handful of people, and they just got pushed out. Again, should have been more aggressive with the Humvee. Just a driver and a gunner is all you needed. Because even with this up-armored positioning, the gunner can still get sniped out by a 50 cal. Look at Zixmi's positioning here. He's firing through the little slits here. Trying to get an angle. Well, it's enough to make him wave off. BTR is now booking it ahead, realizing it's not in a good spot to assist. I still think Blue 4 has a pretty solid chance here. Op 4 haven't made it into the actual objectives themselves, but Blue 4 needs to either send the Humvees around and try to harass the rear through these open areas here from range. They could still get some good pickoffs if they box Op 4 in, but they need to show a lot of aggression with these Humvees, and I just don't see it. Or Op 4 slips up and they start charging through the open, and then the Humvees pick them off. That's another potential. But yeah, the only kill that's happened so far is that one Blue 4 element, but we do have a knockout here. I assume Depso got shot through these walls here by a 50 cal, and that knocked him out, but he wakes up. really good GL ranging considering the distance, but unfortunately, it's just not going to get the kills they need. Another Blue 4 member has died. It was the gunner on the 50 cal, because again, they're just pushing it out, and it just gives a sniper an opportunity to range a shot in and eventually nail that headshot, which is going to be an insta-kill. Eventually, the Huey is going to be ordered to make more direct passes on the infantry, get a little closer, and then one of these Dishkas is going to hose it. Hey, Joker, what's up? Now you're starting to see some Op4 make some advances here. Another infantry squad's going to stick to the coast. Blue 4 don't have any defensive elements except one marksman right here, but he's watching the other way. So you're just going to see a pincer here. These guys are probably going to follow in with that group as well. So it did get hit, but it survived. That 7.62 machine gun isn't going to do much compared to the heavy machine gun. It did get a hit, though. One of the bullets did ricochet off. But the engine's still going strong. I have seen a grenade launcher round hit a helicopter once, but it was making a very slow and easy to hit pass. He almost kissed that tree. I don't know if he's trying to land or what. Maybe they want to do some field repairs on it, because they did take a few hits. So maybe the engine's red, they want to repair it to orange, but I think one hit either way is going to knock it out. Now you see this Blue 4 element, they're giving up the hill and they're starting to try to move. Stallard gets hit. They pull away. Oh, that Humvee almost rammed into the other Humvee. It could have also been a fuel tank hit, you're right. So if they leave the vehicle, it means they weren't able to patch the fuel tank in time. And that air asset's essentially, you know, hit. They're doing a little bit of medical, too. So if it goes airborne again, then, you know, you're right. It could have been a fuel tank hit. That's more plausible than just landing to repair the engine. These guys are driving out because they noticed it was flying low like that, so they're thinking it might have dismounted somewhere. They might be able to ambush it. Yes, Pumpkin, and you can simulate a lot more with it if you want as well with advanced ballistics settings. You can simulate wind, you can simulate temperature, you can simulate everything that would affect a real bullet. If you want to do that to yourself. Yeah, fuel's out, so they're gonna leave it. So you're right, it was probably a fuel tank hit because the engine was still fine. So Blue 4 withdrawing from this position. They're going to pick another. It looks like they're going to just go for holding the terminals. So that's going to allow this Op4 group to also get in. I think at this point with the casualties inflicted and the care Op4 is using to try to avoid these open areas here, Op4 is going to now go in a little deeper. They might hit this other terminal first. Blue 4 might have an opportunity to feed Op4 in detail if this group attacks first and then the other group attacks second. But beyond that, I think Op4 have this one. Yeah, Op4 removed it from play. It still means Blue 4 have all the infantry to come in, but it's going to take them a while to walk into the AO because it's about 1.5 kilometers. So I'm hearing some marksman rounds. You know, if Banks were to find that weapon, that would probably be... Ah, no, he's got the grenade launcher. That was a better choice. But having another marksman rifle, especially if you're going to be camping these hilltops, that is pretty good. Are you... I wonder who he's shooting at. There must be some blue 4 around here I can't see. That'd be really funny if that vehicle pulled up and they started mag dumping it thinking it was enemy, even though they're the only side that has those vehicles. Would it be Friday Night Fights without some friendly fire sprinkled into almost every round? I don't think it would be. Who's up here? Kabubi is up here. Yep, so you got these guys coming around. Blue 4 is trying to evenly defend all 3 terminals. They're going to get defeated in detail at this rate. Now you got the BTR taking 50 cal fire, but it's overranged. Nope, there we go. They adjusted it. But we also have the Land Rover starting to snipe into these compounds here and try to take out any infantry they see. I think they did just shoot out one of the green, Op 4 guys that were running in the open. That's what I was talking about earlier. If those Humvees are able to catch Op 4 in the open, they're going to get torn apart by the Humvee's 50 cals, but it's too little too late at this point. Now you got Op 4 trying to move in. They are getting picked off, though. I guess there's a delayed cook-off with that Humvee or it got armored or something. Oh, no, wait. The Land Rover right there just mag-dumped it with the Dishka. Hit the engine and fuel tank, caused a spark, cooked it off. Very true, yeah. The BTR has no magnified optics, so it's going to just shoot at whatever vehicle it might see. Emil taking some shots here. Zixmi gets knocked out. I think that was Masano shooting at him. Now you're seeing a pretty nasty pincer maneuver, and these 3 guys are a little lost because they should be going more left, but they're going right. They don't have any weaponry that can destroy a BTR, by the way. I don't think 4.6 can penetrate a BTR's plating. But, you know, it might be AP rounds. I might be wrong. Land Rover starts mag dumping this tower. Blue 4 abandoned it, though, knowing that's a bad position. AT went into Kabubi's building. Did Kabubi go Kabubi? Kabubi went Kabubi. Yeah, more like Kablooey all over the stairwell, but... All right, Op 4 Alpha moving in. We have a nice pincer going out right here. We still have some Op 4 stragglers coming in as well. Blue 4 also have the straggler Huey crew. You got to give Blue 4 a bit of credit. They are doing a little bit of counterattacking here and there. A few of them are picking up some kills, but Op 4 certainly have the number advantage right now. Pingus does not hear anything. Nemesis doesn't have to worry because Puma's gotten the kill there. Let's hear an RPG go off. But the gunner of this vehicle got taken out. Z is mag dumping it. Wait, did Op 4 steal it? No, but Op 4... Op 4, check, just to be safe. Ah, Eander RPG'd it. That makes sense. So Z is the only one left, and he's gone. Really great spot by Stallard here. If he just camps this, he might be able to catch people moving. Nice. Unfortunately, there's like no Blue 4 left. Oh, so Land Rover Dishka came up and got blown up. That's nice. So Blue 4 still getting some kills here and there. Stallard's run down to the first story. He hears Depso. Depso hears him. Oh, this is a pair of Op 4 marksmen. Interesting. Both FPSG ones. Ooh, Swallow with that MG. You're gonna have to noob tube him. Uh-oh, they're both thinking the same thing. Did you see his... So what happened there was he got shot once in the leg, and that forced him to put his weapon up and go into the prone animation. Then Swola immediately headshot him. Oh, that was dirty. All right, so this terminal is nearly hacked. Murray is the only guy left alive in this AO. We do also have DZ here, who's just camping this building with a Dishka. And you know, that's not a bad spot, because this is the only way. They either come up there or they open that. So it's not bad. 14.5, though, if it goes through the window, it could still technically headshot him. What's the likelihood of that? How's Murray doing? Oh, hey, the Huey people are dying. They're dying. They're dying. Murray takes a GL. Shadow. Hey, guys, I think I figured out why it's called Red Burger. It's because there's blood everywhere. Anyway. Did he just get off of the gun and arma himself? All right, can Murray channel his inner Audrey Hotto and win the match? Okay, I was about to say he didn't blow up, right? That would have been, yeah. What the hell is that? I'm sorry, what I meant to say is, can Z channel his inner Audrey Hotto? Holy shit, he got a kill! He's got 2 kills! He's gonna do it. He is channeling. Right here, right now, he's channeling. The Dishka just hurt his legs. Just circle the building. You've got 20 boxes of ammo. Use it. Hell, get the BTR to also start firing its KPVT. This is like a shark, yeah. Just circle. All right, so both of those objectives have been completed. Zio is going to pull one of the greatest comebacks I've ever seen. If the building gets blown up, by the way, that's going to make the terminal stuck. Holy shit. Wait, no, Banks is on his tail. They took out some of the building, and Banks kills him. No Blue 4 alive. Op 4 win by default because F and F. Wait, Banks gets killed by Pogrom. All right. We'll be potentially back in an hour or two, depending on where I decide to play my on-the-ground stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Go operate operationally. Don't forget, DayZ is also later tonight. I will drink some alcohol to chill with you guys, because why not? Otherwise, cheers, guys, and have a good one.